y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So before we even get into this review, we're going to have a little bit of a disclaimer, or just kind of a welcome to my TED Talk. So y'all know, if any of y'all have been around me with like the community tab, the social media, y'all would have been known I was a little bit torn about doing this review. Although I think some of y'all may have thought that I was torn for a different reason than really. I was slightly, this collab was all like, ooh, teaser, whatever. And I was like, your girl might want to review that. And then about 25, 30 of some of y'all were like, girl, what you thinking? You gonna review this? What you gonna do? And I was thinking, okay, all right, well, you know, a couple people wanted me to review it. I guess that kind of solidifies, you know, I'm gonna review it. And then I posted about it, and a couple people were like, well, you're selling out, you're selling your morals for views. And I was like, you know, what are y'all thinking? And in all honesty, it wasn't that deep. What I was upset about, or why I was requesting about the review, wasn't because I was thinking, oh, if I do this review, my morals are going to be 110% conflicted. And it also wasn't a case of using people requesting me to do this as an excuse to buy something I wouldn't normally buy. And I know y'all know my feelings on Morphe is pretty 99.9% on the negative, but I was interested in this collab, and it was the sense of just kind of like, well, okay, if people want me to review it, then I guess that'll be great. So I honestly just wanted to review it. And if for some of y'all think that I have exchanged my morals against Morphe for views or for whatever, I feel like it's important for me to take y'all's video requests to heart. And if it's something that I'm already feeling kind of like maybe 50-50 or 60-40 vibing with, I don't feel bad about doing a review, because I know you all trust me for my reviews and everything like that. And if it's something you want, I feel like I owe it to y'all. It behooves me to take one for the team. So I'm sorry about any of y'all who think that I am trading one thing for another. I'm not. I feel like I've kind of, for a while there, I'd kind of lost why I was doing the YouTubes. And I just want to take kind of some time to recenter myself and go back to the basics of why I started my channel, and that's reviewing products that I want to review, and I wanted to review this. And the fact that some of y'all showed interest and said you wanted to see my review, because I am very unbiased. I hate Morphe. I think they're a shady AF company that cares about numbers and money more than value and integrity. So, you know, I'm not coming from a, oh, use my code. So honestly, with that being said, let's just get all into it. Obviously, today we are reviewing the Morphe and Jeffree Star palette? Artistry palette. I was trying to remember if it had a fancy schmancy name. Packaging is all kinds of cute and pretty, very a la the brush thing, which I admit, I was this close. I was like, well, I should review the brush set as well. And we had flashbacks to the last brush set, and I was like, no, if it had all been pink, bristle brushes, I would have got it. But they did have some of those like goat hair ones, which kind of confuses me, because they said that this collab is 100% friggin' cruelty free. How is it cruelty free if you've got goat hair brushes? Can someone explain that to me? But anyway, we have the palette here. This is gonna run ya $36. You're getting 30 shades, all in a myriad of matte and shimmer and a pressed glitter. I honestly think it's nice and sturdy. It's very aesthetically pleasing to me. This looks very evocative of Jeffree Star, and maybe potentially something he would have come out with himself, though he tends to be a bit more ornate and Morphe in order to keep their crap products in a streamlined price point, they're pretty stingy on the packaging department. And then we have the Set and Refresh Starberry Scent. I'm pretty sure this is a product that they already had, that they just re-promoted in a new smelly, fancy packaging. But if not, correct me if I'm wrong. This is nice. I'll just straight up go out of the wagon and talk about this. It didn't come with a box, which kind of threw me off because I opened it and I was like, oh, palette, and just mist kind of hanging around in the box. I know that Smoky Glow swears by their like regular setting, whatever, and I will say the mister on this is nice. Like, this mister is better than the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set and the Dewy whatever. It's better than the Becca one. It's better than the Farsali one. This is like Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist level spritzer. I would have to say though, for anyone who's sensitive in the scent department, I would say if you can go in store, I know this collaboration is probably going to be sold at Ulta. Go in, smell it. It is a really nice spray. It does make my skin look very smooth and very just fresh and set. So this, I'm down. I think this is great. Just be wary of the scent if you have sensitive skin or you're sensitive to scent, because it's not so much like people are like, oh, it smells like strawberry cake rolls, which the diabetic in me is like, yes, please give me strawberry cake rolls. I feel it like kind of actually more is like a strawberry seltzer water scent, which I think is more appealing than strawberry cake rolls. But anyway, that out of the way, let's talk the palette right here. All right, so I'm gonna do swatches for you all. I'm gonna do them on camera. I'm gonna add music and potentially speed it up just because there's a lot of shades to go through, and this video would be like 20 million minutes long if I gave my commentary. So, roll clip. Okay, so obviously the question on all of our minds is, Jeffree, why would you collab with a brand that is known for its inconsistent quality when you yourself have honestly one of the best formulas on the market? This palette is definitely something that I would consider very hit and miss. I love Nate, Wake and Bake, Glam Rapids, Drive Through, Boss Angeles, Calabasas is nice, What's the Tea, Vroom Vroom is really nice. Basically, the mattes are the high point of this palette, and most of the mattes are fairly consistent with the Morphe formula that I'm used to. Like, they're relatively pigmented, you do have to use kind of more of a patting motion and then blend them out. I started off with Pink Fleet on my eyes, then I went into Mogul, then we blackened it up with Fastlane, and I used Nate on the lower lash line. I attempted to use 2, and that is one of the more disappointing shimmers. Now, usually when it comes to a palette, I feel like the shimmers, the mattes, are a lot easier to kind of dig on because mattes in varying colors are more complicated and difficult to formulate. Shimmers are pretty easy. I've tried shimmers from a myriad of brands, from high-end to low-end to dirt cheap, and you know, it usually isn't too difficult to bang out a relatively consistent shimmer formula. Unfortunately, these are not it. Shades like 2 and Designer Label, Custom Rims, just a large majority of the shimmers are very hard pressed. They're not smooth and creamy and overly pigmented like, say, a ColourPop shimmer or an Anastasia or a Jeffree Star shimmer. Like here, this is kind of pretty, but you need a glitter glue or a tacky base, something for these to adhere to in order to get the bang for your buck that's shown in the pan on your lids. And a lot of them are just definitely very faint, effervescent fairy farts. Like, I dipped into 2 right here and Welcome and Designer Label, kind of expecting a bit of cha-cha-cha-cha, and really kind of what I got was more of a womp womp womp. We had particles flying everywhere. There was some glitter flitzing everywhere. Speaking of glitter flitzing, millions. It's a pressed glitter. Y'all know how I feel about those. Don't like them from Huda Beauty. I don't like them from ColourPop. I just despise pressed glitters. And this one is absolutely no different. It's just a chunky, nasty, glittery mess that's difficult to work with. So the surprising factor for me was honestly how underwhelming the shimmers were. The mattes, like I said, they're fairly pigmented. Some are a little bit patchy, but you can work with them. You can make it work. You know, there are a couple colors that I absolutely love. I think we've got some cop out here in My Back 1985 and Honey Truth, you know, Honest Truth, just a couple shades that are kind of really blinking similar and honestly are the same on the lid. So I was really surprised because, like I said, I was expecting to get a lot more, dig in a lot more on the mattes than the shimmers, and the shimmers were just overall underwhelming. I do feel like I am going to pull out for this palette for a lot of the matte shades that are very beautiful and unique. Pink Fleet, What's the Tea, Nate, Wake and Bake, Hi Dude is really pretty, Calabasas, Los Angeles, Mogul. Basically, I will reach for this for the mattes. It has a nice collection of mattes. The mattes are a formula that I can work with. They're not the best. They're not the worst. But the colors are beautiful, and I think this is something that I will actually pull for the mattes. The shimmers were just a really big disappointment, especially when you're, you know, thinking this is a collab with someone like Jeffree Star, who is pretty much like the epitome of cha-cha-cha-cha. It's just kind of like, where's my shiny? Where's my beautiful? Where's my beacon to heaven? So this is a palette I would definitely recommend going in and swatching. Like I said, the mattes are okay. You know, they're not ColourPop or Anastasia or Jeffree Star, but they're kind of more Urban Decay, Tarte, Kat Von D, kind of that level. So I can't really fault a multitude of the mattes, but just the shimmers were just such a letdown. And honestly, that was very surprising to me because, like I said, I have palettes from Morphe that I use and like that have shimmers that are a lot more intense than these. But I can't fault the mattes. I feel like if this is something that you've been interested, if you're wanting to support Jeffree, just go buy his palettes. The formulas are a bit inconsistent, but that honestly isn't anything new. The mattes, I keep saying, they're nice. They're nice. I don't want to just completely trash this thing because it isn't completely trash. But definitely take into consideration that the shimmers are not some, you know, you're not going to get a lot of intensity out of them unless you put a lot of work into them. This is great. This I like. This I think is worth the $16 investment. I know I'm going to use this up and I'm going to love it. It does leave a nice finish on my face. So honestly, probably a little bit better than I expected. I do find that for me, and considering that this is a Jeffree Star collaboration, I would have liked for there to be more consistency, for there to be more from the shimmers. But all in all, it wasn't a complete like waste of time. I do love those greens, some of the richer tones, the pinks and the purples. This is something I can end up using and not feeling bad about how it's going to come out out. Like I said, I used it all today. I'm very pleased with how my look came out, except for the faint little effervescent fairy fart right there. But all in all, not a complete and total loss. Definitely let me know what y'all think down below. I know quite a few of you were planning on getting this, so let me know if like my experience correlates with how you are. I understand that makeup is very relative and not everyone has the same experience, but definitely let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you think I've sold my soul for views. Feedback is always appreciated. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!